sorted now. Now we have to look for a couple of basic things. One is obviously this is not sufficient for us. We have to add some more information on this. Information like adding. Let's add certain. Okay. Before we go into that, I think it will be a really simple idea to create the. I'll create a div and I'll name it as ID root node. Okay. This is just for trying out purposes, and then I'll add a div where I'll name it as ID as board. Okay. Now, I should say class as board maybe. So it's easier to define a CSS class for it, right? So there will be a board, and then I'll create a div which I will call it as maybe tiles or box. I'll call it them boxes, and I'll number them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that's it. Let's see what it renders now. So I'm able to see the number 1 to 9 rendered here. I want to display these numbers. It should be till number 15, but we're just doing it with 9 into 3 by 3 grid. Okay, so I want this to be structured in a 3 by 3 grid, which means that there should be some CSS properties which should be added to all of them, right? Let's see if I can. Okay. So for the board, I think it is very clear. The display style will be a grid, which we know it need to be a grid because that's how it will be structured. We can define certain width and height, but that's not going to add a very immediate value to us. Okay, what happened here? I'll add some height as well, 400 px, whenever that happens, right? So now that now the elements are there, I want to structure them in a 3 by 3 format, which means that I use some CSS property. Let's open CSS grid Mozilla. So we'll look into the Mozilla documentation, CSS grid layout. That's a good. Yeah, so we have something like this, though in our case, all the classes are same. It says display should be grid, and then you can have a grid column 1 by 3, grid row 1 by, okay. That's interesting. And what's the property called? Grid hyphen column. Okay. Let's see grid hyphen template columns, template areas, grid hyphen template. We should, let's use the grid template columns and see. Widely supported, try it out. CSS property defines the line names. And this is something what we need, right? What is the FR? Okay, so FR is basically going to fill the remaining space. I think this will be a good idea for instead of having a fixed width. So what I understand is that you can either define a fixed width, which is 60 by 60. You can have FR. So FR is I think fractional unit, if I remember correctly. So we will need something like an FR. And oh, this is also interesting. Grid column repeat 3 200 px. Let's try these out. See what works for us. Okay. So we want to apply it for the box class. Let's add it for the box class. and grid template columns at word, right? And we said it was 1FR and 1FR. That's what we saw there. What happened? It's do I need to no, this looks fine now. Okay. Something is wrong. It's okay. Columns. Let's see the rows. And no, or is this? Oh, there's a column structure only, right? Grid template columns. 150. And I believe this looks right to me. Not sure what is happening. Should he? Do I need to change the display property? Okay, I have not defined a display property here. I think that might be a reason. Let me see. If I add a display property of flex, would that help? This grid template. So I'm not comfortable with the grayish color what it is showing there. It is okay, but that is something which I have just done it right now. Right? Display is great. Oh wait, it should not be on the box level, right? Because it's not the box which is. Sorry, I was thinking something else. This property should be part of the grid itself, which means I have to give it here. Which means 1FR, 1FR, and there you have it. So we have created two columns. We needed what, three column, right? And there's three column, and there's a beautiful syntax in the CSS, which is repeat 3 times 1FR. And this is going to do the magic for us, right? So now we have the items arranged in this. We might need to add certain properties in our box. Currently, items are all left aligned. Maybe we can add something like text align center, and maybe I don't know what is the other one. Justify content center. No, that's not. What else? Align items, align content center. No, there's a lot of hint and trial. Excuse me with this because I'm not a CSS expert. I'm just trying to recall and see if it is justified. See. Okay. Now that seems to be going to work. So I'm just justify and then I say the content align, which is the other align property. Align items. Line items and see if, okay, this move to the center. I should add some border as well, which is going to be 1 pixel. Solid. That's good. This looks good. So yeah, I think this is good enough for us to get started, right? And we can add some more things here. So I'll just have these CSS copied, and we should maybe try to paste it in our new CSS file, right? Name.css. Let me see what can be fixed and what can be removed here. So this not, okay. This will not be 3, but since we are doing a 15 puzzle, it should be 4. These things are not needed. We should add some color logic there as well. Let's add green. Let's see. Red should be solid. Fine. This is good enough, I believe. We have 2 classes, board and the box. Need to use these classes now. So currently this is rendered using this. And if I just reload the page, since the CSS is not saved, I've lost all my changes. As in, I've lost all my changes from the browser. Now I have to just get the CSS file here, right, which will be linked. I think link type record is what we normally add for CSS when you want to add a CSS to your index HTML, right? So it it can so we have to add a link property. Which is and this will contain the style sheet information. We should maybe add some style sheet information there. Right? Which is relation type is the style sheet. And we have to give the extrapolation of that style sheet, which is currently in the CSS / main.css, and maybe the type, right? The type is the text CSS. I hope this is good enough for. Okay, this is funny now. This is looking funny. The reason being that we have created only 9 div records and ended up having good. This is much better now, but they are not equally sized. Maybe because of my CSS having a different width and the height ratio. I will increase one of them and see. Everything looks all right. Wait, it should be 4x4 matrix, right? 4x4, right? That's why it's looking odd. It is still not complete. So I will say 7. Now this should be the final one. Yeah, this is how the 4x4 matrix will look like. Okay, spend too much time on the HTML. Not sure if it is worth it, but there might be something new you might have learned. Let's move to